Hey folks, Jack Spirko here with another episode of 5 Minutes with Jack, and Max the dog is wanting to be part of the action again. But today's episode is titled .net, .org, .com, and negative greed. And what's that all about? I recently got a question on the site from a guy that was basically saying, hey look, I got this new site I want to set up. And the name of the site that I've come up with, he didn't tell me who it was, but you know, whatever it was, my site name, you know, whatever. When I look for .com, it's not available. Somebody already has a domain. But the .net's available. I want to do a forum, and does .net fit a forum? And the short answer to this is, hey, look, .com, .net, I don't care, whatever. As long as it's a top-level domain, as long as it's not .blogspot or some .wordpress, you're good. Unless you're going to do a lot of radio advertising and things like that, then I would work really hard to do a .com or a .net because they're the most memorable for people. So there's the short answer to the technical part of this question. But there was another little piece. It was a small piece of what this guy asked. And I'm not putting him down because a lot of people think this way. And it's why I decided to do an episode on it. And it was basically, my concern is that there's this .com is just like a holding. There's no website there. It's like a GoDaddy hosting page or whatever. But if I build up my site and it gets to be popular, and it's a .net and somebody has the .com version of it, well, I could lose business, you know? Didn't really elaborate on it, but I mean, I've heard that from so many, and I've heard this from, so the guy that wrote me on this, don't feel bad about this, I've heard this from big companies. I'm talking Fortune 500 companies that are looking at doing like a mini site, and they're going to market the hell out of it, and they're going to do something, and the .com they were in love with is not available, so they look at the .net and go, well, you know, we could get piggybacked or hijacked or, you know, something like that. And my thought was, don't you understand you already have to be successful for that to happen? See, it's what I call negative greed, and it's overemphasis on what your competition's doing. I really don't give a shit what my competition does. I really don't care. As long as they're not slandering me, I don't care. They can put me down. They can be negative about me. I don't care. As long as they're telling the truth, and it's their opinion that I suck, fine, I could care less. When they put out false information, then it's incumbent upon me to correct that, because that's just smart business. But otherwise, I don't care. And what they do that doesn't affect me, I really don't care about. You know, I worked one time for a company, and I had told these folks, you need to do press releases, you need to do press releases. And it was never a priority. You know, it was like, yeah, we'll get to that at some point. Then all of a sudden one day, you know, the president comes to me and she's like, we need to do a press release. I'm like, why? She says, because our competitors do. Look at all these press releases our competitors do. Why are we doing this? Well, what do you want to say? Well, I don't know, we have to do something. See, the motivation was wrong. If we had something important to communicate, and we had plenty of important stuff to communicate over, you know, 6 months of me saying, let's do this, we could do that. And the next time there was something important, let's get it out there and use press release as a medium to communicate it. But doing it because your competition's doing it, or worrying that I'll make a .net so successful that I'll have brand piracy and someone's going to pirate my brand, hey, why don't you worry about being successful first with your initiative? Even if you're already successful as a company, if you're going to launch a microsite around a certain concept, there's no guarantee of success just because you're already successful. There's no guarantee that this podcast will be successful just because my other podcast was successful. It makes it a little easier, but there's not. If I don't bring it, if I don't do it right every day, I'm not going to have success. There's plenty of podcasts out there now that are about preparedness and self-sufficiency and survival and homesteading, and some of them are by people that really love what they're doing, and some of them are by people that are completely copycats of what my original work is. My original work is still the biggest site out there. It may not always be. Somebody may come and do a better job someday. But the person that's going to do a better job is going to do a better job whether they're emulating me or not. They're going to have to love what they do more than me to beat me. And that's okay. And if they do it, great, because that'll make the whole market better, and it'll be better for me, and it'll be better for them. I'm not going to worry about them. I'm not going to worry about the fact that I might put up a site that's a .net and somebody else owns the .com and it's nothing, and then they're going to turn around and try to do something off of my effort because they have the .com version of the brand. I don't have time to worry about anything like that, and neither do you. Don't focus on your customers. Don't get into negative greed. Negative greed is fearing losing something that you don't even freaking have yet. And so many companies do this. And again, not to pick on the guy that asked the question, because it's not about him. Big companies, multi-million-dollar companies, getting ready to start a new initiative are worried that if they do it, someone will take a piece of it before they've done a damn thing. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of mental energy, and it's freaking arrogant. You have one thing to focus on as a business person: doing your business to the best of your ability and for the best needs of the people that you serve. And that's it. If you focus on that, sure, someone else might pirate something, but if you are ever successful, people will emulate you. If you are not prepared to be emulated, you're not prepared to be successful. And with that, I'll sign off. This has been another episode of 5 Minutes with Jack.